I didn't expect We're Going on a Bear Hunt to be quite so emotional. I will, with a spoiler warning towards the end of this discussion, talk about the ending because I have some thoughts on it, all positive thoughts. But for the most part, this will be spoiler free. This is the 2016 version, directed by Joanna Harrison and Robin Shaw, based, of course, on the wonderful poem by the brilliant Michael Rosen. And we have the illustrations based on the illustrations by Helen Oxenbury, and the illustrations or the animations are absolutely stunning. And it starts off with this family of children. Their parents have to go out temporarily because there's a problem with their grandmother, and one of the children says that grandpa or grandfather would know what to do, and instantly I thought, this is going to be sad all of the way through, isn't it? And I have to say, I can't remember the specifics of Michael Rosen's story, so I don't know exactly how it compares. I will actually go and look it up once I've stopped talking about it. But for me, I was approaching this with bits of the poem in my head, but not a full memory of the narrative. So that's worth bearing in mind if I say something that doesn't make a lot of sense to people who have read the poem. And I thought, okay, this is a really sad beginning, but actually, once it gets going, it's mostly about these children who are, believe it or not, going on a bear hunt. Left to their own devices, they decide to go off and see if they can find some bears. And they have a real adventure. And there are various problems that they encounter, problems with grass and, well, various other things. I don't want to spoil it too much, but we do have the frequent refrain of we can't go under it, we can't go over it, we have to go through it. And the first time they said that was the first time where the poem just came flooding back to me, and it just filled me with so much beautiful nostalgia. And of course, the big question is, will they find any bears? And I won't answer that, but I will say the direction it takes is quite sweet, and I really thoroughly enjoyed the narrative, the progression of the narrative, this fun adventure story, the beautiful animation. It's so stunning, and I really thoroughly enjoyed it. We have a great voice cast as well, including my personal favourite, Olivia Colman, who voices the mother. She's obviously not in it too much because she's away for most of the animation. We also have Pam Ferris as Grandma and Mark Williams as the father. Elsie Cavalier voices Rosie, who I thought was a particularly wonderful character, and I think my personal favourite. Really thoroughly enjoyed it, absolutely gorgeous. So, the ending. I will discuss the ending now, so this is obviously a spoiler, and at the end, it's actually really sweet because the grandmother says that it's okay to be sad. It's just a way of remembering the happy times. And I've never, ever thought of sadness like that. But most times when a person is sad, it's because, well, I mean, sometimes it could be because you've, hurt yourself, and that's not a good thing. But often it's because we've either lost something that we loved and we had that happy time to be thankful for, or because we've lost somebody we love and we're happy for the time we had with them, and this is what we get here. And there's this chillingly beautiful song sung by one of the grandchildren, and it's so gorgeous. And honestly, I feel like the story was a fun adventure. It didn't need that emotional thing, but I think it was really great to include it. I feel like a lot of animations or narratives in general try to give it something a bit more emotive, to give it a bit more meaning. This could have carried its weight without that, but I think it was a really nice way to top and tail the narrative with a bit of an emotional start, and then the actual adventure kicks in, and then we get raw emotion at the end again, and it was just stunning. If you have half an hour to spare, I thoroughly recommend We're Going on a Bear Hunt. It's absolutely beautiful. Michael Rosen is just one of the best ever, and this definitely comes across in the narrative, in the rhymes. The illustrations or animations as we have here are just absolutely gorgeous. Really loved it. I'm now going to go and track down the poem and see how the narrative compares. I know I probably should have done that before recording this, but I wanted to get my thoughts out while it was still in my head. Not that I would ever forget this. It's absolutely beautiful and definitely worth watching.